You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Peach State Payments. Ethical processing, more profit, less stress. Chiro HD, more than an EHR. Practice management simplified. The Chiro Speaking Company. Attract, educate, and convert. Chiro Spring, cloud-based, user-friendly software with all the essential features chiropractors need. OmniWave, redefining comfort and acoustic wave technology. The Chiro Hustle Podcast is sponsored by Chiro Health USA, ChiroScript AI, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 733 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. I'm your producer, Luke Millette, and here's your host, James Chester.
So today we have the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Joren Whitley. And if you want to hear his story about animal chiropractic and where it's going, stay tuned for the full episode. Welcome back. This is another episode of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. Today I have Joren Whitley on with me. Met this guy at Parker down in Las Vegas, not Dallas. I was going to say Dallas, but it was Las Vegas a couple months ago. And just a really kind guy came up, introduced himself to me, and said, hey, man, let's do a podcast together. So here we are today, episode 733. July 4th, Dr. Joren, we turned 8 years old. And I joke around. But this is a joke for you. I tell people that a year of podcasting is like dog years.
yeah. Oh, man. Well, then it should be aging you quickly is basically what that works into.
Well, it's just the experience that you get when you interview 100 people a year.
Yeah. Of
what that does for, the osmosis effect of actually learning. And taking all this knowledge I learned across all those interviews and how it can give me the different tracks of knowledge to go out and serve the profession better.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're going to jump into your story in a few moments here, but I'm going to let everyone know our big why. Why do we do what we do at Chiro Hustle? Well, first things first is freedom of speech. I believe that that's so important to this message of chiropractic. We were just talking about Reggie Gold taking the media to task during his trials of supporting and protecting chiropractic. And I believe that that's a big part of Chiro Hustle is we do protect freedom of speech. We wouldn't censor anybody. Everybody we've ever interviewed, we've produced that show. So it's pretty cool. I love what we do over here. It's real journalism. We also believe in medical freedom and family health freedom. I'm always clear. I tell people they're not the same thing. But if they want guidance on family health freedom, they should reach out to a chiropractor in their area and take care of their family through chiropractic first. So if you're looking for a chiropractor, reach out to us through the website, chirohustle.com. And medical freedom, you should always understand what that means for you as an individual. You have choice. You have body autonomy, and you can choose what happens to your body. It's pretty cool. And you should definitely become more understanding of what that means for you. Philosophically speaking, we protect sacred trust of chiropractic. If you don't know what that means and you're new to the show or you've never seen me talk before, go to our show notes, click on Sacred Trust. It's BJ Palmer's last written words. He's the developer of chiropractic, the son of the founder of chiropractic, D.D. Palmer. And you're going to learn more about chiropractic than you did before. I guarantee you, even if you've been practicing for 3 decades, go read it. And if you're new to chiropractic, go see why this profession is so amazing. We do support subluxation-based chiropractic. I know I shouldn't have to say that, but they're removing this out of the lexicon of the colleges, and the languaging is failing. So if you know a chiropractic student out there that's not getting real deal chiropractic philosophy, share the show with them. Bring them into the Chiro Hustle powerhouse family and let them know what chiropractic really is from a non-DC that supports chiropractic. We also believe in the deeper roots of philosophy when it comes to innate intelligence, universal intelligence, and the educated intelligence. We believe that when man or woman, the physical, gets adjusted, it connects them to man or woman, the spiritual. which creates the educated mind to become the educated intelligence. With that, this is episode 733. Joren Whitley, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. I got chills while you're saying all that. That's awesome. I don't know why I hadn't heard that before, like coming from you. But yeah, it just speaks to a lot of, I don't know what I want to talk about today, but also, I mean, our profession as a whole and why we do what we do. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, I give like hour-long talks on just the opener of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. Keep doing it.
Yeah. I believe that the world deserves to have it concisely explained to them. And after so much time of working and doing the podcast, it was like 2020 when we were getting censored and traffic throttled.
Yeah.
And I mean, there would be times like we have nobody on this live right now. There'd be times where I'd have over 100 people on my live interviews.
Yeah.
And they have downgraded my reach still today.
Yeah.
Because we talk about something that's against the grain of their monopoly in the medical world that wants to drug and maim everybody.
Yeah.
And we believe in innate intelligence and vitalism, which is on the far end of the spectrum. And we believe that everybody has the innate right to have access to the truth. And you can see there's 0 people watching us right now. But we used to have hundreds of people that would jump on these live feeds and watch our show. But because I would actually say the censorship stuff at the beginning, they started traffic throttling us and down regulating our feed. So we just keep on producing, and we know the right people that need it, they'll get it.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. And, you know, time will tell, but we're seeing right now that the whole scamdemic that was a depopulation agenda was it hurt people, and it broke up families, and it really made people sick. So I'm not going to go into that vertical of conversation, but there is a big why. And chiropractic is it's a standalone profession. It's not chiropractic medicine. It's chiropractic science, philosophy, and art.
Right.
And if people understood that, then they would be more curious about what real chiropractic is. So,
no, for sure.
Your story. I know you work with animals today, and that's a big part of your life. But what was the impetus for you to say, I think chiropractic is the right move for me, and I'm going to become a doctor of chiropractic?
Oh, man. That is a story. So actually, what you can't see is you can see this degree, but you can't see my other one. So I was a biochemistry, molecular biology major in college. And I'm a huge nerd. I was a kid that, you know, would take plants and put them in vials and look at them under microscopes and stuff. Like I wanted a microscope kit or a telescope every year for Christmas or birthday. I wanted the next one. And so I was always not against medicine, but I was always the kid that was like, I don't want to take that. I don't want to have to take something else because I feel like it's masking something. Like my body's trying to tell me something. And I didn't really know what that feeling was. I didn't know why I thought that. And I'd never seen a chiropractor before. I remember being on the bus in high school, and we were passing by somewhere, and a kid goes, "Oh, that's my chiropractor." And I was like, "Oh, what's chiropractic?" And he's like, "Oh, it's this thing that once you start, you have to go for the rest of your life." And I was like, I don't ever want to go to a chiropractor. Like I vividly remember that moment. No other moments on the bus, just that moment. And so I graduate college. And during that time, like through high school and college, I'd go back and work for my grandpa doing concrete construction. So I was constantly, you know, like running heavy machinery or pouring concrete. And I ended up getting hurt actually after college. So I was in college dead set on being a biochemical engineer, or not engineer, but working with biochemical weapons. Have you ever seen the movie The Rock, the Nicolas Cage? So I don't know, that movie stuck out, and that guy was a biochemist, and he worked with biochemical weapons, and, you know, he got to go save everybody from, you know, terrorists on Alcatraz kind of thing. And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go work in weapons technology. And they were like, hey, you don't have enough training or enough experience. You need to work in a lab longer. And during my college degree or years, I worked I worked for the USDA. I actually genetically modified peanut plants. I, you know, pull their oils, pull their DNA. We'd mess with them. And I also worked for a company called NIMFAB, which was a National Institute for Microbial Forensics and Food and Agricultural Biosecurity. So I worked with viruses. So I worked with viruses and like mapping genomes and you know, trying to isolate these viruses and figure out, you know, which plant they came from in another country and how they affected our plants and all this stuff. So I'm a huge nerd. And so in the meantime of working and trying to find a lab to work in, to go work in biochemical weapons, I went back to concrete, and I was doing something stupid and I hurt myself. And I was trying to lift this really heavy piece of machinery in the back of my truck, and I was doing it by myself, and I heard a pop and I was down. And so I was hurting really bad. And I went to my grandpa and I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. You know, this is really bothering me. He's like, well, you need to go to a doctor. They're probably going to give you pain meds or surgery. And I was like, I'm not interested in either one of those. And my stepdad was like, hey, you should try my chiropractor out. I was like, I don't believe in that. And so
I have to go the rest of my life.
Yeah, something like that. So I go, and he was an activator doctor. And so I go and I'm like, I don't know what this is. And you're telling me that little clicky thing is going to fix whatever. So I went my first time, and we shot x-rays. I went back and I was like, I feel a little bit better. You know, it's not gone, but I feel a little better. And I remember sitting in the radiology room, and like they were showing me my x-rays, and they're like, all right, so the nerves that come out of here, they go to this organ. And I was like, well, stop. You're telling me that there's science behind what you guys do? He's like, yes. I was like, but how much schooling did you have to have? Is this like a summer course type thing? What is this? And he's like, no, we're doctors. I was like, oh, okay. So it was like this little plant, you know, this little seed. And so I keep going, and I'm like, you know, this is kind of cool. Like, I feel like I could do this. You know, I feel like I could be a chiropractor, you know. And you know, I start talking to them more and kind of pick their brains. I'm like, okay, where would you might go if you were going to be a chiropractor? Like, they're like, well, I'd either go to Life or I'd go to Parker at the time. And so I'm looking up Parker University, and it's like this weekend, last weekend of our like open house. Last weekend, we'll pay for your hotel room and all this stuff last weekend for the year. And I was like, oh crap, I got to go. So I took off work. I scheduled everything out. I went down there, and they're like, sorry, we don't have your hotel room. Like, you're not even on our list. And so I ended up staying with a buddy. And anyway, I went, and Dr. Fabio Mancini was speaking, and we toured the school and stuff. And then we went and we listened to Fab speak. And he said, he was telling the story about a patient he had that she came in a wheelchair. Her husband pushed her in. She was overweight, and she was in a lot of pain. And so he worked on her, and he worked on her the first time. And then visits progress, and she goes from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane to not needing either, driving herself to the office. And at the end of her care, or the end of her care plan, or she was moving or something, she handed him a letter, said, open this when I leave. So he opens this letter, and it's basically, Doc, the day that you, for the very first day I worked with you, or you worked on me, I was, this was my last hope. You were my last stop and last hope. And I actually had a friend buy me a gun, and I was going to kill myself that night if you weren't able to do anything for me. And even saying that like brings me back to that moment of sitting in the auditorium and just like hearing this, and I'm crying, and people around me are crying. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. And, I ended up leaving, and I applied for school, and I got accepted. And I was like, oh, geez, wow. Like, I got accepted. I'm going to be a chiropractor. My grandpa didn't care for that. And, you know, he was like, you're going to own my business, you know, run my business kind of thing. And I remember leaving, and I remember praying, and I was just talking to God, and I was like, thank you so much for this. But like, why? Like, why? And I vividly remember, because I love you. And it was like, there's so much more that I'm supposed to be doing with this. And so, that was like a sealed deal. Like, I'm going to be a chiropractor. Then I go off to school, you know, and I go through the chiropractic program and everything. And it's not until later, like, I know that I'm going to be a chiropractor, but like, it's not until later that like I actually take on the role of being a chiropractor, like internally. And then I remember, I know Dr. Tim Young spoke of it at different times, but like chiropractic, you didn't choose chiropractic. Chiropractic chose you. Like, I was destined to be a chiropractor. Like, God, I get emotional thinking about it. Like, it's what I do. I mean, it's like everything that, and not everything that I am, but like I live and breathe this stuff. Like, this is everything. And not ever, I don't mean it like this is everything, obviously God, family, and all that, but I'm just saying like, this is my purpose. and what I do with this is my purpose. So it's, yeah.
So what I'm gathering here is that the concrete working kid must have some strong, good hands, because I know you're taking care of, I know you're taking care of big animals and stuff. So
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to talk about that too. But I have my own story, like Fab Mancini had. A lot of people that follow our show know that I've done 800 spinal screenings and scheduled over 11,000 people into chiropractic since 2016. And I don't get a chance to meet those people again because I'm not the chiropractor. I'm just the guy that does the sales. I go out to meet people at the festivals and the fairs and the markets, and I bring them into the chiropractor, and I never see those people again.
Yeah.
There's this guy named Scott Pepper, in Anchorage, Alaska. I asked him when I finally met him 7 years later, said, "Hey, can I use your story in my talks?" He's like, "Absolutely." So I went up 9 years ago to Anchorage, and I did my first screening at the Alaska State Fair, and I met Scott, and he was one of 47 people I scheduled in 4 days. And he came back to me 7 years later and thanked me. And I was like, I've been doing this so long. I was like, he's like, "Do you remember meeting me?" I'm like, "Dude, I've scheduled like thousands of people in." And he's like, "Well, I just want to let you know that the day I met you, I was thinking of killing myself. My wife was on the brink of divorcing me, and we were going to do bankruptcy." He's like, "I just want to say thank you for scheduling me in to go see Dr. Lloyd." He's like, "I've come back other years to engage with you, but you're always so busy." He's like, "I saw you this time 7 years later. You weren't busy. So I wanted to come say thank you." He's like, "Just to let you know, I'm still with my wife. We never committed bankruptcy, and I'm still here." And he gave me a big hug. And I said, "Hey, man, can I take a picture with you? I want to use it in my future presentations." And here we are today, man. So the message that you're sharing with me about Fab Mancini, there is a bigger why when people understand that it's the power of one. It's that one person that gives us that promise out of the 11,000 that we did something impactful to help somebody. Yeah. And I think it's really cool that you share that story, and that resonates with me too. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know that we have to get into this chapter of our conversation because you decided to be an animal chiropractor.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you to take care of animals, and do you still take care of people too?
Yeah. So my office is one of the only offices, not the only office, but it's one of the largest offices in the world that does both people and animals. So I'm taking care of, oh man, I can't even tell you numbers, but like my practice is mostly people. And then I have a separate area in my office where I take care of animals, and I'll take care of 14 to 21 animals in a day in the office. So like I have specific times in the day where I will stop working on people, go work on animals, and then come back to working on people. So like today I took care of, we had, crazy tornado issues. So I only took care of 2 dogs this afternoon. But normally I'll see 7 in a time slot, 7 or 8. So I saw 14-ish this morning, and I was supposed to have another 7, but I only had 2 because of, we had sirens going off and people were like, I'm gonna stay home. But my practice is mostly people. And I realized that I wanted to be able to help everyone in the family, even the family pet. If I can help the family, if I can help mom and grandma and the baby and everybody, I should also be able to help their family animal. So, that started from my very first chiropractor saying, I was like, "Hey, if you could go back and do one more thing, one thing different, what would you do?" And they're like, "I'd go work on animals." And I was like, "Animals, really?" And they're like, "Yeah, we had a lady bring a chicken in the office and we adjusted it and it got better." And I was like, "Okay." So I dove into the animal stuff, and then went from, just working on dogs and cats to working in horses and stuff to working on exotics, and driving home that you can pretty much work on anything with a spine. And it's just if I can work on a baby, or if I can work on a human, and I show people a video of me working on a person, they're like, "That's cool," or "Oh, I need that." And if I show them working on a baby, they're like, ooh, that's controversial. I don't know how I feel about it. I show them me working on a dog or a cat or a giraffe. They're like, what are you doing? And so I'm like, cool. Using this, I can show people chiropractic through my work with animals in a completely different way. Because they're like, whoa, you worked on that dog and it can walk again. If you can work on that dog, then you can work on me. And so I'm using it to circumvent everybody that says, man, it's not possible. I'm going, that dog has no bias and it gets better. So how much more better can you be? You know? And so, I mean, that's why I do what I do. I mean, I love working on them, but.
Well, it makes me think about, you know, the philosophy of chiropractic and Sid Williams. And he was the founder of Life College in Marietta, Georgia, which is outside of Atlanta. And he would always drop his keys. And he would say, chiropractic is just like gravity. It works whether you believe it or not.
Yeah. And
people don't have to believe in chiropractic for it to work. Yeah. And animals don't know what chiropractic is. They don't know the word. No. And babies don't know the word chiropractic. And, you know, you're not doing a soap note with a dog. You're not doing a soap note with a baby. And I think it's really cool that you restore the animation and the functionality of a dog or a baby. And you know that you're making a life improvement, adding more vitality to their life. And it's not about an insurance code. It's not about somebody's in pain.
Right.
It's about producing the thing that nobody else can do on planet Earth other than the chiropractor.
Yeah.
And restoring the functionality back to that person or that animal, I'm sure it gives you a lot of joy to see how something that you nerded out on, like, you know, chemistry, now you can apply that same type of mindset and love into taking care of people and animals.
Yeah. No, I love it because, like you were saying, like you have a baby, you have a dog. Neither one of them know what chiropractic is. Like I worked on a 3-week-old baby earlier, and he doesn't know what chiropractic is, but you can immediately see the benefit. I have a dog who may hate me, hate the adjustment, hate everything about what I'm doing, but they're showing improvement. So, I mean, if it were bias-based or placebo effect, then there's not a chance that I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to beat the snot out of you, and then you're going to get better. Like they're like, I hate this, I hate you, I'm going to bite you, and yet they can walk again. What is it? Chiropractic works. I'm going to mess that up. Chiropractic works basically is what I'm getting at. Like it's their neurology behind it. It just makes sense whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I meet people a lot, and I use this phraseology to them. I'm like, you know what an organ system is, right? And they're like, yeah, it makes sense. And I'm like, well, the reason they call it an organ system is because it's organized. No. And when a chiropractor checks your spine and finds the subluxation, what they do is they adjust that vertebrae back into place and allow the body to function naturally and allow the organ system to go back to its normal function.
Yeah.
And I go, I said, that's called vitality.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. Like we talked a little bit earlier about like philosophy and neurology, and we talked about the philosophy in, like the schools. You said in your opener, like, how the schools are not teaching that dire philosophy of like, we find subluxations, we correct subluxations, and that in itself is enough. Where we were in, where I met you, you already said it, but I'm not going to say it. I don't remember one time hearing somebody talk about innate or, universal intelligence, or talking about the power of the adjustment. It was, and you can use this laser and you can do this. And not that I think therapies have a time and place, but I feel like too many places and times are now getting away from that and getting away from the adjustment and saying, here, go ahead and adjust them maybe 2 or 3 times and then refer them out if you need to, or
that's not a career. You can't build a career doing referral based chiropractic.
No. Or it's they're talking about hands in the pocket chiropractic in other countries, where in other countries it's you only adjust after doing X amount of weeks of lifestyle changes, nutrition, all that stuff, and then you could potentially adjust if required. or even in the schools, it's you adjust if you have to, not the adjustment is the number one thing that we do. And you can add a therapy to help increase, or help in some way. Like we have PEMF and we'll use it to help decrease some inflammation after the adjustment, or we use it on dogs a lot. We use it on animals because it's like, this dog has a inflammation. Their food is crap because they eat, one of the dog foods is terrible for them. So let's go ahead and stick them on PEMF. We're using it as an adjunct, but we adjust. And that is what we do. So it's no longer a fight of straight versus mixer. It's almost a fight of chiropractic versus or therapy first. And everybody's going towards this. Everybody's becoming metapractors instead of chiropractors. And so it's just hard. And I'm sorry, we jumped into this really, really quick. It's one of those things that like fires me up, because I'm like, if you know the neurology, what we do, the neurology alone, what we do is enough. There are, if we go back to BJ, he's talking about like the power of intent, the intent in what we do and the intent in the adjustment. And then like, what's crazy is it seems like it's just this old practice, this old mindset. I actually saw a screenshot of a test that students were taking. And one of the questions was, what would you apply, or which one of these does no longer exist or belong? And it was the Palmerian, basically Palmer theology of chiropractic is antiquated. And it was the answer was that Palmer theory was antiquated. And it was like, whoa, hold on. The theory of what they did, like the power of intent, there are neurologists right now that are studying the power of intent now, 60 plus years later, talking about the power of intent and how strong it is. And that was what they were talking about back then. Like the power of the adjustment was so far beyond its years in understanding. Like it was it drives me insane, because the adjustment is enough and people don't realize that.
Well, the adjustment's primary and fundamental.
Yeah.
And, one of my good friends, Eric Plasker, would always tell me chiropractic first, chiropractic second, chiropractic third, chiropractic fourth, chiropractic fifth, chiropractic in any other intervention, still use chiropractic. Chiropractic and meds, still use chiropractic. Chiropractic and surgery, still use chiropractic. And like the fundamentals never shift. And people that get adjusted when they're going through trauma, or they're going through some type of like healing crisis, like still get adjusted. Don't discontinue the adjustment just because you're doing something else. And I think that you said that clearly. Like even when you're dealing with the dogs, still use the adjustment in chiropractic.
Yep.
Even though you're using a modality outside the adjustment. Right. And I had this talk about a week ago on my other podcast, Get Better Faster. And this lady said, because I told her we could heal the world if we were to adjust every politician's C1 and C2.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't be subluxated anymore in the most vital areas of their spine. And they'd actually be able to be out of that bondage of the subluxation. And she goes, that would have worked 50 years ago, but now we're poisoned with our food. We're poisoned with the air. We're poisoned with our water. We're poisoned with our technology. And she's like, we're just under different stress. And we have to think more about the toxin stressors of subluxation and the thoughts and the emotional state of subluxation. Because trauma, obviously, we understand that one, that the body had something happen to it and it gets subluxated. But she's like, the people are like under assault constantly with their thoughts and with the toxicity in their bodies. So she's like, we have to look at their blood work now. We have to look at like what's going on with their vitals different. And she's like, 50 years ago, people weren't under the same amount of stress. You could adjust 2 bones in their neck and, they get better with just straight chiropractic. I do think that the population is under different levels of concern. So like Plasker would say, chiropractic all the way through and stick with the adjustment as the primary, as the fundamental. And, we have to also understand that like we're in 2025, people's bodies are deconditioned. There's a lot of technology going on. One of the things that I've learned at a seminar at CalJam like 5 years ago out in California. This lady gave a talk and talked about when people are using their technology, they represent nursing home posture.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, if you go around and look at people using their technology, it looks like dementia patients. So she coined a phrase called digital dementia. And I think when people are so outside of themselves, they never look at themselves and don't know themselves. They need to be reconnected, like in my opener. We need to connect man or woman, the physical, to man or woman, the spiritual, which creates the educated intelligence. We've forgot that linear system so fast that they're not teaching in the schools, and they're castrating the philosophy out of the schools. And they're teaching chiropractors to not adjust and to refer out, which is, to me, a death sentence for the profession.
Oh, for sure. And I know one of the questions you had was like, you know, and we'll get to that. So I don't want to dive too deep into it yet. You know, whenever you say, but it's absolutely crazy seeing, like I talk to students all the time. I was just on a Zoom meeting with like a bunch of students earlier today in Florida, about animal chiropractic, you know, and I'm talking about philosophy and I'm talking about what we do. And I remember going to, oh God, I don't remember which school it was. It was maybe Logan or anyway, I went to one of the schools a long time ago, and I was talking to students, and I was like, long story, trying to hire new students kind of thing with this other doctor. Anyway, I said something about like innate intelligence, and they go, whoa, you can't say that here. I'm like, what? I can't say that here. And I was like, but it's a subluxation. Oh, no, you can't say that either. I'm like, what do you mean you can't say that? That's the fundamentals of what we do. And they're like, well, let me show you something. And they show me the clinic. And the clinic looks like you walk into what looks like a hospital, like wing. And there's bumpers on the walls, like for gurneys and stuff. And I'm like, what is this? And they're like, well, we're training to work in hospitals, you know, with real doctors. And so we have to do this. And I'm like, oh my God, like you guys are just sucked out of like the basics of chiropractic. And you're trying to fit in so much that you're losing yourself as chiropractors. And it drives me insane.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Peach State Payments. Ethical processing, more profit, less stress. Chiro HD, more than an EHR. Practice management simplified. The Chiro Speaking Company. Attract, educate, and convert. Chiro Spring, cloud-based, user-friendly software with all the essential features chiropractors need. OmniWave, redefining comfort and acoustic wave technology. The Chiro Hustle Podcast is sponsored by Chiro Health USA, Chiro Script AI, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. Let's hustle. Well, the medical mafia is real, and they've infiltrated the colleges, and they've paid off the faculty, and they won't stop until they destroy and eliminate the philosophy and the lexicon of chiropractic and the languaging. That's why they're not big fans of me, because I support the old school philosophy. And a lot of times I'll meet somebody and they're like, oh, you're the straight guy. I'm like, no, I'm the philosophical standard guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how you take care of people, but don't lose the fundamentals of the profession. Otherwise you guys are all sold out.
For sure.
You know, people want to like make me seem like I'm just the straight. I'm like, no, I do a hyperbaric chamber. You know, I do laser. I do all types of different modalities to keep myself healthy. I take great supplements. I do things to I'm a biohacker, you know, and I believe in longevity. So I'm also practicing making sure I get adjusted, but I keep that as the cornerstone of everything that I do moving forward is chiropractic lifestyle, chiropractic fundamental. So yeah, anytime somebody meets me, they're like, oh, you're the guy that just, you're the straight. I'm like, well, I do believe in the fundamentals.
Yeah. And
you have to stay true to that stuff. I am curious though, like you mentioned Tim Young earlier. Who are some in Fab Mancini? Who are some of your heroes, or who are some of the mentors that helped you become the chiropractor you are today?
So, I mean, in just reading the green books, I mean, like BJ obviously is probably sitting at number one. I mean, as a developer and really founder for what chiropractic is now, I know DD being the founder, but the founder of kind of what everything is today, BJ is really at the top of that list. And then, reading green books, you're just getting that constant mentoring through the green books. But then Dr. Tim Young, I mean, I remember seeing him in school and being like, who is that arrogant guy up there? Like just, and then I get to know him and I understand what he's talking about, like whenever he's diving deep into philosophy and making you think about you as a person. Because everything that we do, whenever I was talking to the students, I was talking about this, like everything that we are doing is, we're putting on these different hats, but our philosophy of who we are is really what is emulating through everything that we do. And our personal philosophy, our chiropractic philosophy is really what creates our practice. It's really what is emulated from us. And that has changed everything for my practice, for me. I mean, just this idea of contradiction versus, reality, contradiction, speaking the truth to your patients, not, hey, and we're going to sell you on this package. It's like, here's what's going on with you. And this is why I'm seeing you this many times. This is what's going on. He's really changed a lot. And he's become a great friend. So Tim's definitely up there. What I love, these people I've never met, but like Reggie Gold and Herbert Ross Reaver. I just probably screwed up his name. My brain's fried at the end of the day.
No, you said it right.
Yeah, Dr. Reaver is there's a clip I found, and I can never find the clip again. There's a clip of him speaking. He's on stage with his wife, and he's speaking to all these students. And the student stands up, and he wants to ask him. He's like, "So, doc, like whenever you have a patient come in, and we have to do this, and you're doing this, and whenever you're doing this exam, and blah 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 blah," and he goes, "Hold on one second." He goes, "Are you asking me what I do with my sick people?" He's like, "Yes, sir. I'm asking you what you do with your sick people." And he goes, "Well, I have them come in and I lay them down and then I adjust them." And I was like, oh, like that I keep that and I hold on to that just as like, that is, like, that's what we do. And then, golly, I would have remembered his name if we hadn't started talking about it. He's actually Dr. Tim's, like one of his great mentors. And I will remember his name here in a little bit. But he is
Hugo Gibson.
Yes, thank you, Hugo. Hugo is I met the man. He's amazing, and he's the sweetest older man now. And I was talking to Tim, or everything, hearing the stories, and then talking to Hugo. Hugo is talking about like the adjustment being your signature, and that like that dove deep. It's like that is what we do, and it's like what it's a gift from our soul to their soul. And that just hit me so hard. And then in hearing about like just his passion for chiropractic and like his desire to help one more person, like these are people that I look up to, maybe not directly mentoring me, but like people that I look up to that have changed my everything. It's the why. It changes and emulates, or it magnifies my why. And why I do what I do. And every single patient is somebody I'm helping, and it's a connection between my soul and theirs. And I don't know. There's just the people I look up to.
Yeah, I think, it's a chance for us to pay tribute to people that helped influence us to become who we are today. Yeah. When people ask me similar questions, I have to give a big shout out to John DeMartini.
Oh yeah.
He taught me one day, you have to give yourself permission to be great. No one else will do that for you. You have to do that for yourself.
Yeah.
And my other mentor, Larry Goodman, who is trained by John DeMartini, would always tell me life is sequencing. If you go out of sequence and you do something out of sequence, you have to go back and redo it. So know what the sequence is always and stick to the plan.
Yeah.
And that's been something that I've held with me for a long time, and getting wisdom and genius from people that have created amazing lives and have lived that before us. I think it's so vital for us to find people that say meaningful things and live meaningful lives, and they can touch us, and then they can make sense to us off that one thing, like the adjustments, your signature that you carry with you forever.
Yeah.
So I think it's real vital for us to like have these like moments of appreciation for people and pay tribute and be thankful. I think that the younger generation should always remember that they stand on the shoulders of giants. And it sounds like that you're in that position right now too, that you're learning how to mentor the next generation of chiropractors. And, before we get into the future of chiropractic, I know that the show's going a little long, but I'm having a good time with you. I want you to share with me a little bit about animal chiropractic and how that became a part of your practice. 'Cause I know we talked about it earlier with like numbers of animals you see, but how did you decide that like animal chiropractic was the right path for you?
So I've always had a love for animals, and whenever I was in school, I took the animal chiropractic program. Kind of because of my just like it wasn't like I love this type of ice cream and this is my favorite. It was like I kind of like it. It's something I am interested in. Whatever. Animal chiropractic was like I could do this. I could potentially not do it. I think I'm going to do it. And then I started seeing the difference it made, and then it was like, okay, I'm going all in on this. And then I realized, like we were talking about, like not being able to. There's no placebo effect, and because of animals, I'm able to further show the world animal chiropractic. Whenever I got out of school, man, nobody knew anything about animal chiropractic at all. And I'm not talking about chiropractors. A lot of chiropractors didn't know we could work on animals, but the general public had no idea. And so I'm running around going, I'm an animal chiropractor. And they're like, what? And so I like had to really help educate people locally about what I did. But then I was like, I have to tell the world I need to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show. And I was like manifesting it every day. It's like, I'm going to be on Ellen's show because she had it was like her or Oprah. Everybody knows who these people are. And if I get on their show, I can show the world this thing. And through that, we're going to change chiropractic. And I kept saying that. And I was working on exotic animals and stuff. That's a fun story. Like I worked on like one lizard, and I was like, I'm an exotic animal chiropractor. So I went to the zoo and was like, I'm an exotic animal chiropractor. I have to speak to the head vet. We need to talk about chiropractic in the zoo. She's like, come on in. So I went in, and they were like, here's some x-rays, and tell us what you think. And I was like, all right. And I was going through and I was like, these look like human x-rays. I was like, I see this, this, and this. And I said, but why do you guys have human x-rays? They go, no, this is a silverback gorilla you're going to be working on. I'm like, what? And so that like started that process. And so I'm doing this stuff, crazy stuff on the side, and I'm taking videos and stuff. And then TikTok came around, and I posted one video, and it got taken down within a couple hours for animal abuse. And I'm like having to send all my credentials in and be like, I'm an animal chiropractor. Here's my license. Here's this, here's that. And they're like, okay, but we'll review it, whatever. And then I posted another video, and that video got like 40 million views in like 3 days. It was insane. It just took off. And then I had everybody going, what is this animal chiropractic thing? We've never heard of this. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, it's new. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not new at all. And then that drove me to really grasp onto that and go, I'm an exotic animal chiropractor. I'm the animal chiropractor. Like, let me show the world chiropractic through animals.
So one of the things I'm picking up on here is this theme, that you did something really, really amazing to become a viral influencer for chiropractic, yet you stay so humble. And yes, sir, yes, ma'am guy, Oklahoma guy. You're just super casual, but to get like that many views on anything in this era, I mean, that's really what anybody younger than you, like I'm 46, like anybody younger than you, they want to do that. They want to create the influencer like arena. They want to be the person that creates a viral movement or creates a viral video. How did that like change the course of your career?
Oh man. So honestly, the very first couple of months, like 6-8 months of it was honestly exhausting because I have phone calls all over the place. I had never dealt with another company, management company, anything, a publishing company, anything like that. So I had all these phone calls and emails. And I mean, I had at one point like 4,000 messages in our inbox. And then we had like 20 or 30 voicemails, and then like 100 something emails, and all these people like asking us about animal chiropractic or whatever. So it was extremely exhausting just figuring all that stuff out. And then it did help, create more of the field of chiropractic. Like it helped create more awareness of animal chiropractic. So now somebody's like, oh, my back hurts, or my dog is having an issue. And someone's like, oh, I saw a video of an animal chiropractor. You should look up animal chiropractic. And so somebody finds me locally, and then they come in locally. Or I've had a lady fly in from Spain with her dog. I had a lady drive up from Mexico City, a family drive down from New York. Just crazy stuff. People drive trailers from Houston, Texas, all the way up here with horses to have me work on them. Crazy stuff. Or I've been flown to. I went to South Africa to teach. So it's like opened up new possibilities, and me being able to show more and more of what we do. And then it's helped me again, be able to teach more and like drive home that like idea of philosophy and what we do and why we do what we do, and really help expand the profession so that more people are seeing animal chiropractic. That means they're seeing more chiropractic. And then, overall, at one point we were the people making, $10,000 off of our social media stuff. And because I'm a chiropractor, I got demonetized actually. So many veterinarians were upset with me because they don't like chiropractic, that they were reporting my channels so much that my channels got demonetized. And then I went from 40 million views per video to 1,000. It was insane. I mean, they cut all our monetization, and I had a full team at one point, like 2 videographers, 2 editors, social media manager, crazy stuff. And then all that's gone, now. And so it's changed a lot. It's opened my eyes to a bigger picture as well. Because it's like, once you realize you can go to the moon, then what's stopping you from going to Mars? And so I'm like, if I can go viral on here and we can do this, what's stopping us from having a TV show? What's stopping us from showing the world more chiropractic? How can I do this more? And so like nothing is off limits now.
Well, I'm super thankful that I got you post that experience, because I believe, the moment that we have today is super honest and unique. And I feel the same way about the podcast. After doing it for as long, now I get to interview guys like you, but I also get to go speak at state associations, and the biggest chiropractic stages in the world are asking me to come and like talk to the profession about philosophy. And having a non-chiropractor speaking to an audience about philosophy is an honor to me. So I can only imagine what it meant for you to have this big team that you built, and getting the attention that you got, and understanding that you can go to the moon and you can go again. So what is possible? That kind of tees up the conversation for me to go to the next question is, where do you see the profession moving towards? I'm just going to like pare it down to 5 years. By year 2030, where do you see chiropractic going?
Man, I actually, in preparing for this, I actually wrote out this really long drawn out thing, but it really depends on where, there are 2 tracks of people running. We've got the track of people that are running hardcore philosophy chiropractic. And then we've got some schools that are pumping out non-philosophy chiropractors at a rate that's higher than the amount of chiropractors that we have that are philosophy based, or we're also getting people that are going from, non-philosophy based, they are learning philosophy and they're becoming the philosophy grounded chiropractors. Man, it's hard to say. I think that I know that what I'm going to be doing is going to be pushing really, really hard in the next 5 years to really get chiropractic out there and get philosophy out there and teach at schools, or teach in ways that are going to promote the profession, not for my own benefit, but they're going to promote the profession to drive harder and harder towards understanding what we do. A lot of schools are going to evidence-based chiropractic. If it doesn't have a paper, we can't do it. I'm like, okay, well, I don't remember the last paper that said drinking water was good for you, but people are still going to drink water. Or the paper that says the world is round. or, the moon's in the air, or the sky is blue. There are no studies, but people just understand it. Well, like everybody's running towards this evidence-based chiropractic because they're ignorant to the own evidence base of chiropractic itself. People don't know the neurology of the adjustment. They don't understand what it is we actually do. So because they don't understand it, they want to run to try to find a paper to justify what they do. And that's stupid, because like if you just sit down for 2 hours and go through the neurology, you go, oh, duh, this does that, and that does that, and that does that. Oh, duh.
Well, that was your first insight to chiropractic, why you thought it was something you could go do.
Yeah.
Because it made sense to you.
Yeah.
And now we're basically castrating the profession and making it not make sense.
Oh, yeah.
So how can you kill a profession? Make it not make sense anymore.
Exactly. Well, that's what the AMA was doing. The Iowa plan and all that. The AMA was trying to destroy the profession by driving people's distrust in the profession. And now we have people that are driving the distrust inside of the profession itself. There are chiropractors. There's a chiropractor in Michigan or Minnesota or something. He hates chiropractic. I mean, he says, I am the chiropractor that's going to bring down the profession. And in private conversation, he says, I am trying to destroy the profession from the inside out. I'm ready to watch the profession burn for what it did to me. And I'm like, what did it do to you? Like, why? He just trashes chiropractic, and he has a fairly large following on social media, and just trashes chiropractic. And you're like, well, here's all these studies showing otherwise. And he's like, I won't even pay attention to those.
Well,
but he's learning from other chiropractors. It's an inside out job that is just destroying the profession. But
we just have to hold our line that much better.
For sure. And not to just be all negative, because I think the profession could take and go so far as long as we are still driving towards that, and driving more education on what we do and why we do to the chiropractors, because it's the chiropractors that can stand up for themselves. It's like if you've seen the movie Bug's Life, Bug's Life, all these ants, they're getting bossed around by these grasshoppers, and they don't understand until at the very end they realize that they are strong and can overpower. It's that same kind of mindset. It's like, you have the ability, everything you do is enough. The conversation I was having to the students earlier was, you think you come out of school and you're either at the same level or a little below some of these other professions, when in reality, in sitting down with them, you realize that they don't know what they're talking about, or they don't understand it to the same degree you do. You come out of school with all this knowledge and understanding of what you do. Your understanding of neurology is so much greater than that of an MD or a DVM. Like you're all of these things, so much, and use that and hold on to that, because you will be fine. And I think trying to drive that self-confidence into them, I think, is the other thing that will help drive that.
Self-esteem is a huge thing in the profession. I want to go back to an earlier question, and then we'll wrap this up. But you talk about students a few times today during the interview. What advice would you give to a chiropractic student right now, besides philosophy? Because it sounds like you're driving that home with them. What else what else would you talk to them about?
Man, I talked so much about philosophy today. That was kind of what I was gonna say. But like our biggest thing is so philosophy is just understanding where we came from, right? And so we think about these movies where we love the movie where the guy doesn't realize that his ancient line is a samurai, or he doesn't realize his ancient line is wizards and warlocks or whatever, and then he turns into that thing by the end of the movie. He is that thing that he realized was his lineage. And we love those movies. We love those shows. We love that storyline. And chiropractic is the same way, where we start out and we're a chiropractor and we do these things, but whenever we realize where our lineage and our past is, if you start looking at our history and understanding the power of the adjustment, we become that. We take on that lineage as we work every single day at becoming better at understanding that. We become that amazing samurai, chiropractic samurai, whatever. We become that thing because we are, we're realizing that the adjustment's all that's needed. And I just want to hit home that, because it came to me today as like, we love these stories, but we never really apply it to chiropractic. We, see it in all these other things. Harry Potter. Oh, your parents were wizards. You're a wizard. It's like, oh crap. And then he slowly becomes the wizard he's supposed to be by the end. Or, sorcerer's apprentice or whatever, all these things where it's like you are a lineage. Our chiropractic history is insane. But also, I tell students, like, dive deep into knowing exactly what you're doing. So you're not a technician whenever you get out of school. You know why you adjust. You know the heart behind it, the philosophy behind it, the neurology, the understanding, so that whenever you do have these conversations with people, you can actually have an educated conversation where you go, I know exactly where I came from, and I can talk about this.
Well, this is where epigenetics meets neurology, meets destiny, meets the code. Like, there's a code of how we become who we're supposed to become. And the innate intelligence connects with the universal intelligence, creates the educated intelligence. And when epigenetics meets the code of life, you're back in chemistry. When you titrate the message into somebody long enough, the element changes and we adapt. And back to something I love to share at this moment in these types of interviews is the body needs nothing extra in it. It simply needs no interference. Once the interference is cleared, the neurology adapts and the body heals. Like, it doesn't need anything extra in it. It simply needs no interference. And that's old school philosophy. So you want to talk about like anchoring down to the old school philosophy? They just need to know once the subluxation is cleared, the body heals naturally. It doesn't need more. Just find it, fix it, leave it alone. Clarence Gonstead said that. He said, be one with the bone. So learn from these old school guys like Clarence Gonstead and Hugo Gibson and BJ Palmer, and never give up. That's the other thing too, is you have to know that the world is against you. Like, the general public is against you. The medical world is against you. The veterinarian world is against you. Like, nobody is rooting for you.
Right.
Except for yourself. So you have to have like really thick skin and still steel will. Like, you have to have this integrity inside of you to just never give up. Stand on the principle and know that what you're doing is the best thing that you can possibly do to take care of your community, and stick to your guns and don't back down, man. And I think that that's what the kids need to hear. They need to hear this last 5 minutes of our interview together. And they need to know that they have to give themselves permission to be great. And they have to become dynamic adjusters. And they have to live the philosophy, not just read it. They have to embody and believe in the philosophy, not just hear it. Yeah. And when they do that, then chiropractic becomes large, and it becomes the bigness of the fellow within. And people understand that they are standing on the shoulders of giants, and you need nothing extra in you, simply no interference. And you can drop the keys and tell people they don't have to believe in what chiropractic does. They just have to get adjusted. And by the 7th visit, you're going to become our number one referrer. And when people understand that, there's no hesitancy. Yeah. And the profession gets really, really impressive and grows. And then BJ Palmer's big idea is for real. And that's what we're doing right now, is we're creating this bond, you and I, and who knows how far this message will go. But I tell people this all the time. Where's the future of chiropractic? You know where it is, Joren? Wherever we take it. Yeah. That's where the future of chiropractic is. It's wherever you and I take it. And that's why God put us together in Las Vegas and Sin City, to become beings of light, to connect. And now we're creating history together and sharing some space together, and like really laying the law down and letting people know that innate is real, subluxation is real, and we're going to protect the sacred trust. Dr. Joren, is there anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to share with our audience today?
Man, I'm trying to think. I think we covered so much that, I mean, dude, I don't think so. We covered so much.
I know, it was a great conversation on chiropractic, all things that matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal. I remember this quote from DeMartini keeps popping in my head. I have never met the man, but I was able to hear him speak one time. And I remember, the only thing I remember from the entire conversation, because it was so profound, was be so on fire for chiropractic that everyone comes from miles around to watch you burn. And I was like, oh, it was so good. So
that's real, brother. Well, God bless you. Thanks for being on our show. Your episode 733 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. If people want to reach out to you, connect with you, send their dogs and horses and exotics to you, how do they reach out to you?
Yeah, so we're on. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, but on Instagram and TikTok, it's Dr. Joren_Whitley. And then if they want to get a hold of our office, you can get a hold of us at Oklahoma Chiropractic, which is going to be on social media. But also our phone number is 405-673-5339. Call, get a hold of my staff. They'll get everybody set up. And I take students to shadow. I take doctors come to shadow. So, I mean, if anybody's interested in animal chiropractic or just seeing how the two combined work, I'd be all for that. And then I'm also going to be teaching. Actually, I'm teaching an advanced animal chiropractic course in France in November. The details of that will be on our website. And so if anybody's interested already doing animal chiropractic and we really want to dive into the philosophy, we're going to be teaching all the French and Germans and British and all those guys some advanced chiro stuff. So,
well, I just spoke over at Chiro Europe last month to a room full of 350 chiropractors at Chiro, the biggest chiropractic gathering on mainland. So they are on fire for vitalistic chiropractic over there. And I'm sure you're going to have a great seminar over there. So go check them out. Dr. Joren_Whitley, Oklahoma Chiropractic. Send them an email, join them. So I want to say thank you again. Thanks for being on with me today. Thanks for being so kind and humble. And let's take this profession wherever it's supposed to go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, have a good night down there in Oklahoma. Stay safe. And I'll close out like I always do and tell everybody, you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.